You're watching Fox Sports News. Manly is continuing to build its way back to the top of the NRL after announcing a 3-year deal with dairy farmers worth around $750,000. It's another boost for a club desperate to move forward after several years of internal turmoil and financial instability.
After years of struggle both on and off the field, the players, coaches and administrators at Manly appear to be enjoying themselves again. The recent injection of funds, including a sponsorship deal with dairy farmers, has given the former elite club the financial security it needs to return to the top.
There has been far too much discussion about the board and about other members rather than just concentrating on what we're all about, and that's football.
We've really worked on levels of expectations, and we feel the way we've adopted in structuring our coaching staff especially, that if we lift the level of expectations and the level of pressure, then that's going to lift the quality of play, and that should see us an improved side for next year.
As a first-season coach, Des Hasler's performance will be heavily scrutinised. However, he's enlisted the services of a number of former elite players.
If we brought onto the coaching staff people like Stephen Roach, Jeff Tuvey, Mark Carroll, Cliffy Lyons, Noel Cleal, Les Boyd might be making an appearance later in the season, and all those players were successful. They were winners, they were hungry, and they wanted success.
The last couple of seasons it was tough, you know. I think we're a little bit understaffed. But you know, Desi, he's brought along you know, some old-time players that you know, that have got a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge of the game, you know, and I think that's helping out the team, especially the young fellas.
As one of only 8 players older than 24 in the full-time squad, Steve Menzies' leadership will be needed more than ever. This year from the back line rather than the back of the scrum. Beaver's a good chance to play in the centres, which might hamper him passing Frank Burgess' all-time forward try-scoring record. A classic case of team before individual as he sets his sights on semi-finals football.
The fans have to expect, you know, a 2 or 3 year sort of long-term goal, but that's not to say we're going to have a disappointing year. You know, I think it's going to be a big improvement from last year, and the signs are all there that you know, are definitely top 8, and see what happens from there.
Off-season recruiting focused on building for the future. The Sea Eagles opted for a youth program with the likes of Daniel Heckenberg and Jai Mullane, but the key signings were Michael Monaghan and Shane Dunley. There were also a number of losses. Aaron Cannings, Nathan Long and Ben Walker are big shoes to fill, but major interest surrounds the return to league of former Wallaby Andrew Walker.
I think it's been a strategic and turned out to be a pretty big signing for us. Andrew's just got a wealth of experience. He's an instinctual player. He can just make things happen.
Walker's on-field skills have never been questioned. However, personal dramas have plagued his career. So to counter that, Manly have given him a leadership role.
I've never had that before, and Manly has sort of put that on me to be one of the oldest members in the side, and just lead by example, I suppose.
One of Walker's goals is State of Origin. Having played one Kangaroos test, a Blues Guernsey would complete the set of representative jerseys.
Could be achieved as a player. 2 premierships, 12 tests and 6 State of Origin matches, and 225 first-grade games in the famous maroon and white. Now Hasler faces his biggest challenge, taking over as head coach at the Sea Eagles, a season after the side finished second last on the premiership table and conceded 50-plus points in their last 4 games at Brookvale Oval. Season 2004 has started on a more encouraging note. A draw against the North Queensland Cowboys and a big win over Souths in their 2 trial matches have given the club a lift heading into such a critical season. While Hasler has been happy with their pre-season form, particularly the thumping win over the Rabbitohs, he is well aware it will count for little in round 1 against the Cowboys.
Sort of haven't had all the highlights and the lowlights of coaching yet. I'm sure I haven't been in the kitchen yet, so haven't really played for any competition points. But I'm sure those moments are ahead of us this year.
The Sea Eagles have been quite active in the off-season, with Michael Monaghan, Jai Mullane, Ian Donnelly and Daniel Heckenberg, among others, heading to the Northern Beaches. The biggest signing over the summer, though, was Andrew Walker, returning to the game after a stint with rugby, and Hasler is excited about what the former Wallaby can bring to the club.
Yeah, he's a pretty rare talent, Andrew, and you know, he's enjoyed the off-season. He's worked very hard, you know, reacclimatising back to league, and I think he's going to be a major player for us this year. And he's just getting better and better.
One of the regular pluses for the Sea Eagles each week is inspirational captain Stephen Menzies. Menzies, one of the game's all-time leading try scorers, is set to play a big role again in 2004, but Hasler has flagged his intention of making a bold move, shifting his trump to the centres.
Yeah, and he could play there, or we'll move him back into lock or playing on an edge. It's just an option that we're looking at and that we can try. But Beaver's such an accomplished player that with his experience, I'm sure he could be equally adept at half and wing as well. So it's a luxury to have, and I'm pleased it's a problem that I have.
For Manly to be successful in 2004. Hasler knows that while the young talent is the future of the club, it's his senior players that need to lead the way. And with that in mind, he expects John Hopewadi to play a pivotal role.
He's a senior player now, and again, he's a bit like Beaver, just his experience and his leadership, and his and his demeanour when he comes onto the field. He just gives the team a lift, and that's the role John plays, and very adept at and very good at it.
Hasler knows he faces a big task in turning Manly's fortunes around, and he has enlisted the help of some former greats of the club to help in the quest. Cliff Lyons, Noel Cleal, Jeff Tuvey and Mark Carroll have joined the coaching ranks. Also joining the club is one of Balmain's favourite sons, Stephen Roach, an acquisition Hasler rates very highly.
I think just their presence, people like Blocker, Crusher, Jeff Tuvey, Spud, and Cliffy Lyons, and that's I think I read one article where they described them as warriors, and they certainly are. No, they've played the game, they've been successful at the game, they're competitors, and I think their influence and I think their enthusiasm and I just think their presence really gives the players a lift, and as well as their input as far as the skills coaching and their mentor approach.